Hello guys, this is Paula. I am here to do a flip through of my Traveler's Notebook, which is part of my design team project, and it is made by Lynette at Cheaply Chic, and I will link her video channel and her Etsy shop below. So I finished this yesterday, and it's going to be time for a new book to come out soon. So you haven't seen every single page in this because I needed to get it done. I was a little slower this month. And so I am ready to show you how cool it turned out. Now, this book is a book I hang on to. This is what I journal in, is her Traveler's Notebooks. So I can't journal in big ones very well because it just takes me so much more time. And I like having small spaces to journal, like a tag or whatever. And so that's why I cover a lot of sections and pages and do more design. I love designing it. And then I love having just a simple page. I leave some full pages here and there, but for when I get talky. But that's, that's only on my videos. So this is the Wings collection. And it is one of my very favorite ones. I'm going to untie it here. It has this, yesterday she had a few of these in her shop still. So you can run over and grab one. Now this tassel here I got at Hobby Lobby in the bead section. It was multiple colors. I bought two. I took it apart and made it into a tassel. Here's some beads at the end to go on my book. So I like to add I like things hanging out. So I added white tassels at the bottom here. And I usually do that at the front of the book. So yeah, beautiful colors that she put in this book this time. And she did some fun stuff on the inside. So let's just get started. Beautiful paper this time, Lynette. And she put some feathers, and so I used this maroon feather in here. I just cut a piece of black cardstock and added a doily that I had in my stash. Lynette always makes a tag. I just cut it off a little shorter, and you always get one, a tag that matches the book. And then I added like 3 different color fibers at the top, which she does include fibers in the book as well. And I just added this little feather because he's just cute as he can be. And here's where I added the tassels. Okay. Now let's move on here. This is the next page, which I actually did my library pocket on this page. I love how this turned out. She gave us a lot of black tags. She gave us black tags, papers, and this design here in this bag came from my stash. So it's got a library pocket here, and I didn't do anything with the card itself. But you can see that I double matted this pocket. This is the letter from Lynette, and I like to keep them, so I put this one in the back. I read it, and then I put it there. Okay, and so this is a card I had that I cut out that had this bird on it eating his grain or whatever. And then I added a little black tag. And on this, I used my white gel pen that came in the kit. And I just doodled around it. And I thought, what are things that birds do? They fly. And they also soar through the air. So I put soar on that one. And then here on the big one, I just added a little trim of this same fabric and doodled on it. And you can journal on the back with the white gel pen, or you can add paper if you don't want to do that to the back. But I like to journal on the black, and it does really well. So this is the pen that you get in the kit. So if you're interested and you like birds as much as I do, I'm a bird fan, I'm a butterfly fan, of course floral. Who isn't? Like my favorite flora is iris. And then you know, I love birds. So this was out of a magazine. This came in the kit. This she puts in from a bird book or whatever. And I cut this section out and put right here because I just thought it was cool. My brother's yard looks like that. I mean, he has so many bird feeders in his yards, and so you can sit and look out his window and see any kind of bird you can imagine. I mean, any kind you can imagine. He has, you know, and over on the fence in the corner is a hawk, just waiting to have breakfast. But he doesn't, because my brother will come out and shoo him away. He's there every now and then. So here is some decoupaging, and I did a lot of decoupaging in this book because I have a lot of bird napkins that I have been wanting to use for myself, and this was a perfect time. So this one came in the kit though, and it was a pretty big one. And so you can see here, I went ahead and did it like this, okay? And then that folds back and I can journal underneath. And then here, this is another napkin. I added the rest of this napkin up here, and then I brought in another napkin that I had. So you would never know that it didn't go from the same napkin. So this is the postcard that I have in my flower postcards, and I just rounded the corners and cut it down to fit in the book, made it a pocket, and took a tag out of my stash. Added this fussy cut floral from Tracy Fox. Let me get that in there. Okay, I must have not glued that very well, so I need to fix that. Okay, and here at the bottom, I just had a die cut that I cut out with the same color as the theme of the book. And I had a tag the same color. I just got lucky. And I went ahead and pulled that out of my stash. This button's out of my stash. I stamped some little bird images on ticket shapes for this book. Turned out great. This paper came from the kit. And on the other side, it has these silver birds. And on this side, it has a black grid. And I just added this floral, big floral button. And these little, she punched out birds and feathers and so forth for this kit too. And they were really cute. And then I just made the pocket out of cardstock. Now this is, this was a last thought because she had told us about a digital at My Porch Prints. And this came from that digital, and I just love it up against this black paper. That this is the extra treat for the book, and I just used my scallop punch to punch that page and make it special. And I was going to go back and put polka dots in. I may still do that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll just show you. So right here on the scallops, I'm just going to do little polka dots. And they don't have to be perfect, but I just want you to see. I'll let you see what it looks like. We'll do it together. And hopefully when I fold the page back, they don't smear, right? And I'm not doing them perfect, but yeah, so much fun. It's hard to see. It starts blending after a while. Ooh, I'm getting small. Let me go back and make those a little bigger. It's kind of funny. You just look back at the last one and you make it that size. That's where you can get the wrong size. And so this is the pen that I got in the kit. And I've used it a lot, and they're cool. So there you go. Now let me hold it up and show you. Well, actually, I'm going to pull it out and show you how it ended up looking. Now, this sort of thing has to dry. When you use this gel pen, don't just stick it in somewhere. It will smear, but it doesn't take very long to dry. So I'm just going to flip this page out like this and let it dry. I will do the same thing on the other side of this paper. Or I might do something different, but I'm going to do something in the scallops on this other side as well. Okay, here is one of my decoupaged napkins. I know that these decoupage napkins cannot be used in something you sell, but this is for me. So I got something white on my black paper, so I'm just taking this marker while we're visiting here and hitting it with some black marker. That side's okay. And you know, you never would have known it, right? Okay, and here's another bird napkin. This is one I have, and this is one I have here. So this is the third one I've put in here that I decoupaged. And I like this one because it has like a little check in the background. So I used the tones from this, and I added a different bird from the bird cards here, and then I added the other feather, which was the right color as it turned out. Put a couple tags. I added this B is for bird out of my stash. This little tag is also from my stash. And I just did it up as a pocket, and then I just put the little feather in the pocket, and he just looks so cute with that, you know, there. So here is the, I did this in a video not that long ago. So I sewed my bag around the edges. I folded it back and sewed it to fit in the book. Then I took the one that Lynette made for the kit. She had stamped this and sent it to us. I zigzagged around it. I put silver up here because there's silver in some of the paper. I added my feather. That was one of the feathers in the kit. And the bag was in the kit as well. And I added a fussy cut bird here. And this vintage playing card was in the kit. And it had the silver, so that's where I added silver. And then you had this little paper that came in the kit. I zigzagged across it. The part that I cut off the bottom of the tag, I just used it, or the bag, I just zigzagged across it, turned it around, and yeah, and then did some doodling. Simple pages. They're not real difficult, but they're fun. So here was another one of my bird napkins, and I just made a tag, and I used the feather as my topper. So this is a little blue feather, was about this long. I just slid it through the back, laid it right there and glued it down, and it ended up being my topper for this tag. And I just kind of went over that bird with a little bit of blue ink. I put some muslin behind it and just stuck it up there for design. Similar, this is another bird napkin that I have that I love. And I just put a doily up here that I had cut out with my die cut, and then put one of these great watercolor pictures there. This is some bird paper. I have just loved it since I got it. It was in a small paper pack, like a 4x6 or something. So it fit perfect in here. And then this is from my Porch Prints bird fussy cut page. This is the center, first thing we did. It's pretty busy. Not my favorite, but hey, it works. And then here on this page, I don't know if you can see from the video, but in this pocket is black and blue sequins and blue beads. So it's pretty full. I put too much in there. I always do. What can I say? This is one of my doilies that I die cut. Now, I made the tag with a guest check because I wanted it to have the pink. This is another bird paper that came out of that book that I told you about. I wanted to use that. And then I just used some of the fibers that she had in the kit that I just glued it down. And then I added the little black tassel that came in the kit. I thought it turned out cute. Over here, we have the same fiber on the top of this tag that has a vintage birds. And then behind that is an actual guest check with the same trim. And I just put a little wooden bird I had in my stash. I trimmed out this tag so it wouldn't blend in the background. I trimmed it out with this same blue that is in the sequins. Okay. Then over here is another napkin that I have. So I put it on this side of that script and on this side of the script paper. That left me these 2 pages to journal on. And here I just did some little tags that were black, and I doodled with a pink. And then this is some fibers I had in my stash. But I had this paper right here in my stash as well. Pretty much this was all from my stash on this page. Except underneath it is Rolodex cards, which came out of the kit. And if you notice, they're shaped different. See, that one's a different shape than this Rolodex. And I just covered them with this bird paper. And this is the bird paper that goes with the cards that I showed you just a minute ago. Okay, going on here. There's another bird that was in my stash. He's a cutie. I took the card that she put in the kit and I fussy cut it. It looks really busy. I put it on this black paper and I did some, what I want to call music notes. They're kind of a joke because they're not that great. But I used some applique type flowers across here and here. I used music sheet for this pocket. Did the same thing here, but I kind of smeared it a little bit. And then I made a tag and I used these feathers as background. And that was made out of just, what do you call it? Manila folder. I just cut it to fit in this pocket. Here is another page I just did. I did not do this one on camera, but this is one of my little napkins down here, right here. And then this is a bird that came out of my porch print fussy cut page. And this is paper that came out of that same little paper pad. And I just added a flower, stitched around it. And then I made another tag like Lynette's, just so it would mimic that, out of that paper I liked, and added some journaling on the back. Journaling paper. This is out of some fibers that are in my stash. I have a lot of these little circle images, and I put it on one of those little metal, what do you call those? Little metal tags. And I just made it and stuck it right there where it wouldn't wobble around. Here's my journaling space, and the tag is my journaling space. Here's some more journaling space. Now, here's one of those like I just used in the back page. And I used one of Lynette's punched out birds, one of her labels, and I just add little flowers. Since I add little flowers to this tag that she stamped from the kit, and this little coin pocket, this was a game card. And then I put one of these little birds on here. Now this has one of the first napkins I ever got. It was real playful. And I just put it in there because I thought it was kind of cute. Okay. I kind of just want to have all my birds in here. It looks like I need to glue that down better. Or maybe I didn't glue it down that way on purpose. Here is another doodle from a sticker that was in the kit. And here are the punched feathers. This is one of my die cuts. This is a long time card, which came in the kit, I believe. I'm not positive. This is a circle, scallop circle that she had in the kit, and I just stuck it in that box. Here's one of my fussy cut birds. This is one of mine. And then here, on these flowers, on this bag that I stitched to fit the page, I hung the little beaded bulb pin with another feather. I thought that was cute. I don't know if you guys can see that because it's so high up right here. Sorry, I've been off camera. Here's another vintage card. I just stitched around this and then glued that down. This is some die cutting I did. I had been playing with my die cut machine. It just so happens it was the right color. And I just used it all in this kit. The fiber here is from my stash. Now, these little birds are the same as my florals that I have that are postcards. So I stitched around it, stitched down the middle, glued it down, and made it where it has a tag on each side. I did doodle around the card with a straight stitch, use some of my fibers and my die cut. So you don't have to use just white gel pen, but it looks the best with that. These are hummingbirds. Over here, I used my tea card that was in the kit. Mine was a woodpecker. I put it on a red tag since this has red. And then I just added a little mini tag behind it. And I took a safety pin and tied some, not safety pin, paper clip, and tied some fibers to match on there to give it a little pizzazz. And there's 2 blank sheets. And here is some fussy cut birds that I had in my stash. And over here on the back is I just took a glassine envelope and folded it back to make it smaller. Added the rest of that doily onto the flap. Inside here you have just a little butterfly journaling card. Nothing fancy. Enough for me. And then my word for this year is kind or kindness. So I just glued that Tim Holtz. I made this tag and scalloped the corners to be different. Yeah. So there we go. I mean, let's see. See, that's already dry, so I can flip that in. So this is the kit for this month for Cheaply Chic. And Lynette is the designer of the books. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a book you can just be carefree and do anything you want in. And I recommend, if you haven't had one of her kits, you go now and buy one. And you will have a lot of fun working on it. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.